What's up, everybody? It's Jordan, and welcome to the Sports Hunt Show. On this video, we are live on YouTube, like always. In today's episode, I'm doing another installment, continuing my series of doing 7-round mock drafts of each NFL team. Just several days ago, I got done with the Dallas Cowboys and the New York Giants. So today, I will be doing the San Francisco 49ers. And I think it's possible, there's a chance, it's going to be really interesting with the 49ers, what to do in the draft, because free agency is so intriguing for them because you don't know what they're going to do with Jimmy Garoppolo. There's possibility he could be traded to the Patriots and the 49ers would get more draft picks. So it's really interesting, especially for San Francisco, because, they were pretty decent last year considering all their injuries to, Bosa, Garoppolo, and everybody else involved on the team. So many more players like George Kittle, one of the best tight ends in the NFL. So to me, free agency and the draft in general for San Francisco is going to be really, really interesting to see what they do. So I guess we'll go ahead and get started here. So the San Francisco 49ers have the 12th pick in the first round. And with their first round pick, I have them taking offensive tackle Rashawn Slater. I do have them taking Slater here, but they also need corner. But I don't think Caleb Farley or Patrick Surtain is going to be there because I think the Broncos and the Cowboys are each going to take a corner, so those two are gone. To me, this was kind of down between Rashawn Slater and J.C. Horn. I know that might be a little bit of a reach, but I went with Slater because, with Staley recently gone, they could use some offense line help, regardless who your quarterback is. Garoppolo, if you trade for somebody, if you draft for somebody. I know San Francisco likes Zach Wilson a lot, and their fans absolutely love Zach Wilson. If they would somehow trade up for to get him in number 2, you're going to need an offensive line help, whoever your quarterback is. I really like Slater. Lots of, draft analysts like Slater. For instance, Daniel Jeremiah had the Bengals taking Slater at number 5, despite Penei Sewell being still available. And Penei Sewell, lots of people say he's a generational type of offensive tackle. But Slater, he's really good. I think he'd be a really nice addition to the 49ers offensive line. I think it'd be really, really good help San Francisco's offense. So since I did not go corner in round number 1, Slater or J.C. Horn, if I do this again, I may take J.C. Horn number 12 because it's debatable. Either one is fine. So since I did not go corner in round 1, I take corner in round 2 by taking Asante Samuel Jr., the cornerback from Florida State. I would not totally be surprised if Asante Samuel Jr., when it comes to draft time, ends up sneaking towards the end of the first round. He's a really good corner. And Richard Sherman, he's getting up there in age. I believe he may even be a free agent. They could use some help in the corners and their secondary. Corners probably their biggest need. Tackles up there too. But I think that would be a really good pickup if they took Asante Samuel in round 2, because at this point in the second round, it's a team need, but it's also one of the best players available. And teams should not draft team needs. If you reach, you should always take best player available. And I believe that's kind of what they did in round 1, and it's what they did in the second round. So also something to point out, I do these mock drafts from ProFootballNetwork.com. These are from a simulator. So I do not dictate if these players fall or drop, or if they have a big reach. For instance, also these picks involve compensatory picks. So they are not officially having these picks yet, but once the compensatory picks are released, they will officially have them. For instance, the 102nd pick overall, that is a compensatory pick. And I have them taking offensive guard from Georgia, Ben Cleveland. They could use some interior offensive line help. And around the 100 range, or towards the late third round, I think, Ben Cleveland's one of the best interior offensive linemen in the draft at that point. So I really like that. I think, he's one of the best players at that position. That is kind of a need for San Francisco. So I really like Ben Cleveland there in the third round, offensive guard from Georgia. His next pick here is probably my favorite pick for the 49ers. In the fourth round, I had them taking Jalen Tallman from Pittsburgh. I don't know if he's going to drop this far. I've seen some projections have him in the third round. I've seen some others have him in the 5th. It's really interesting to see his projections. But, he's been compared to Aaron Donald and Geno Atkins, and those are two amazing defensive tackles. And, they traded DeForest Buckner last season to the Indianapolis Colts. And I really think they could use another, star defensive tackle. And I think Jalen Tallman just is that. I mean, they traded Buckner for a first-round pick. And then if you can get Tallman, who's on a rookie contract, I think that would work out really, really well. Be the replacement for him. But I think he's one of the more biggest sleepers at the defensive tackle position and just in the draft in general. I think whoever he goes to, I think he's going to end up playing really, really well. So I really, really like this pick here. The fourth round, taking Jalen Tallman for the San Francisco 49ers. So as we go to the fifth round here, I have them taking another corner, Paulson Adebo from Stanford. Like I said, they need corners. The corners their biggest need, so I have them taking more corner depth here in the later rounds. I like this pick. I mean, also some other corners to watch out here for and around this round is Ambry Thomas and Robert Rochelle from Central Arkansas. But Rochelle is starting to rise up draft boards quite a bit. I really like Adebo. I think he can give more depth to the 49ers secondary in case somebody gets hurt like this past season. As we go to the fifth round, the 49ers actually have 3 fifth-round picks. So if we go to their next fifth-round pick, I have them taking Ellerson Smith from Northern Iowa. It seems like every single mock draft I do, regardless of the team, I have a team taking edge rusher in the later rounds, which that is the case because this edge class is just absolutely loaded. You can make a case that this edge class is arguably better than the wide receiver class from last season. I know it's a different position, but this edge class is just phenomenal. Ellerson Smith, Northern Iowa, amazing stats, amazing film. If Bosa would go down again, or maybe he's not ready by the beginning of the season, they have Ellerson Smith, to kind of take some snaps. More of a depth pick, just like Paulson and Debo, because, the injury bug just absolutely was all over the 49ers this past season. So with their last fifth-round pick, I have them taking Trayvon Grimes, the wide receiver of Florida. I really, really like Trayvon Grimes. I think he's really, really underrated. And I think, he was overlooked because, all the spotlight went towards Kadarius Toney, who's probably going to be a first-round pick, and Kyle Pitts, who's a top 10, arguably top 5 prospect in this draft. All the attention, all the spotlight were towards those two guys. But personally, when you watch Florida's games, Trayvon Grimes made some outstanding catches. I believe it was against Georgia. I think it was Tyson Campbell. He made an insane catch over him. He's just really good when he gets the ball. So I really like that pick there for the 49ers in the fifth round. As we go to the sixth round here, I have them taking a quarterback because if they trade Garoppolo, I think they should maybe get a backup quarterback. I believe C.J. Beathard is a free agent. And Ian Book, I know I've seen some mock drafts, not even have him getting drafted, but I like Book. I think he's a good quarterback. I don't think he should start. Obviously, I think he would be a good backup for a team. If he has to come in, maybe win a game or two once every now and then, maybe something like that. But to me, Ian Book's nothing great. I think he's decent, and I think he would have a nice career as a backup quarterback in the NFL. So the 49ers have 2 seventh-round picks here. So as we go to their first seventh-round pick, I had them taking Grant Straud. I believe that's how you pronounce it, the linebacker from Houston. He was at the Senior Bowl. There was lots of teams looking at him. He was a very productive. And, you look at Houston, they have a couple really nice players coming out, and Grant Straud and Peyton Turner, the edge rusher. But I like him. I like him as one of those late linebackers who's going to do really, really well in the league. You look at guys maybe like a Ventrell Miller, Tavante Beckett from Marshall. I really, really like him a lot. There's Riley Cole from South Alabama. There's a decent amount of under-the-radar linebackers in the 6th or 7th round. And, I like the 49ers taking one here because, I think he could be one of those guys with a low-risk, high-reward situation. So I really like Grant Straud here in the 7th round. And with their last 7th-round pick and their last pick of the draft, I had them taking Tony Poljan, the tight end for Virginia. This is more of a depth pick as well. Obviously George Kittle, he had a season-ending injury this past season, and you watch Poljan, I think he could be, pretty decent. He's not going to be obviously like George Kittle, but I think he could be, if Kittle would go down, I think Poljan could go in there and play some decent snaps. And I think he's also an under-the-radar prospect to watch out for, especially at the tight end position. Tight ends, I also like Quentin Morris and Bowling Green. I think he'll be a really good player, under the radar player, a sleeper. But I like Pollard in there in the 7th round. A depth draft pick for them, especially with George Kittle, going out for the year. So that was kind of my 49ers 7th-round mock draft. I'll go over these one more time here. So in the 1st round, I had them taking offensive tackle Rashawn Slater. In the 2nd round, I had them taking Asante Samuel Jr., the corner from Florida State. In the 3rd round, interior offensive lineman, guard from Georgia, Ben Cleveland. In the 4th round, this is my favorite pick of the draft, easily. Jalen Tallman, defensive tackle from Pittsburgh in the 4th. Paulson Adebo, the corner from Stanford in the 5th round here. With another 5th-round pick, they take Ellerson Smith, the edge rusher from Northern Illinois. I also really like this pick. This is probably my 2nd favorite pick of the draft, with Trayvon Grimes in the 5th round from Florida. I think he's going to be really, really good, really underrated prospect to watch out for. In the 6th round, I had them taking Ian Book, the quarterback of Notre Dame. In the 7th, I had them taking Grant Straud, the linebacker of Houston. And with their 7th-round pick and their last pick of the NFL draft, I had the San Francisco 49ers taking Tony Pelligin, the tight end from Virginia University. Thank you all so much for watching. If you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I really appreciate it. And I want to be doing some more mock drafts coming up soon. Next up will be the Chargers, and followed by Vikings and Patriots. I'm hoping to have those out by the next day or so. We'll see, But once again, thank you all so much for watching. If you like this video, I would really appreciate it. But if you subscribe to the channel, I would really, really appreciate it as well. Once again, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time on the Sports Dude Hunt Show.